How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and attempt one of these bloody trials. We're going to go and do Snowbound Valley. So I've got we've got a pair of Paystars, and yeah, you've got to go and recover some large pipes. Pretty nice little thumbnail or whatever it is there. It's all kind of us about one of the best parts, all downhill from here. You'll see. I mean, there is good parts and bad parts to this mission. They give you some trucks that clearly tip bloody easily. That's only just coming out of the yard with like a little puddle on one side, and yeah, already rolled. So just in that case, most of the time you're just best off restarting. So yeah, this is the map. Like, it's not particularly big or anything. There's 4 lots of large pipes that are scattered around the map that you've got to go and grab, recover, and bring back to the yard that you start in. Each large pipe takes 4 slots on the trailer. You've got another Paystar with a semi-trailer, so it's 5-slot trailer. It makes no odds really. Point being, you're only going to be recovering 1 lot at a time. Like, you're not going to be able to do a round lap or anything and collect a load of them. Yeah, you can see that little puddle at the side that will get you. So yeah, I mean, with this mission, to be fair, there is some alright-ish points about it. It's sort of quite a nice map in some ways. It's somewhat different. I mean, I can't knock them for making essentially a whole nother map just to do one trial. In some ways, though, it's a bit odd. It's a little bit like a lot of effort for not a whole lot of use, really. I mean, strictly speaking, if I had to sacrifice, say, this trial in exchange that the time they spent making this trial they spent fixing bugs and doing various patches, I'd take the patches. I could sort of live without this mission, really. But yeah, we'll get stuck in. Like I say, you've got 2 Paystars. They're not very good for not tipping, if I'm honest. I mean, the crane one's really not helped by the fact it's got a crane on its back, but yeah, they've got the single rear tyres. I'm pretty sure you can get the dual rears on this sort of thing. So it's one of those missions where it's not so much like, are you going to be able to do it or not? It's like, have you got the patience to drive half a mile an hour in lots of places and just be extra careful not to tip? So it's kind of a lesson in patience more than a challenge. Yeah, cutting through it. To be fair, I mean, even though that's bogged it down pretty well, I'm only going about half a mile an hour. At least the snow did kind of look like it was deeper than halfway up the wheel, so it did look a bit more realistic. Yeah, the first one I'm going for, I'm kind of going top leftish, I suppose, of the map. One of the ones that are the furthest away. And I didn't really realise at this point. I attempted this mission like about a week or so ago. I mean, I say well, I was attempting it, but I wasn't. I just, you know, drove there, stuck it in the high range, flew up there. I tipped this, then I tipped the other Paystar, and I was just like, yeah, okay, that's enough for now. Already playing on flooded foothills and Big Salmon Peak. There's a lot of super snow and stuff in that makes you go pretty slow, so I wasn't gagging to jump onto this map and yeah, encounter the same super snow but with trucks that, to be fair, the Paystar isn't a bad truck. It's, yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but I wouldn't say it's horrifically bad or anything like that. It's been relatively well balanced in the game. I'm trying to think what sort of missions, what sort of trucks. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if you're able to choose which truck you can use, even if they give you like a selection, so if you miss out the obvious ones like the Tiger or the Dolphin and that then. But the White Western Star probably would be pretty good at this mission, because it's a little bit slow paced and everything, but it's got quite a lot of power there, so it doesn't really give up often. But the White Western Star is also very good for not tipping. It's got its weight very nice and low down, so it'd probably be better than this. This kind of sits quite narrow and has got pretty decent suspension, like, although as you can see with this crane vehicle, because it's got the crane legs on it, they do catch for me every now and then. Not too bad, but yeah, they're there. They'll get you every now and then. So this is the first one. Something made me large pipe erect. Must be a loaf sitting around somewhere, hiding in the bushes or something. And that's another thing that does annoy me. It's kind of separate to this mission, but it shows up a hell of a lot in this mission. I was in low range with the diffs on, and it was already moaning about the diffs. And it's like, how? I'm in a bloody river. I've never liked that feature, to be honest. Even in SnowRunner, it's like, if I've got diffs and I'm choosing to use diffs, just let me have the goddamn diffs. It's like trying to say that they're burning out or something every time I go over 4 miles an hour. yeah, like I said, yeah, they're in MudRunner as well. Still not keen. Because obviously, a lot of the trucks in this game have just got diffs on permanently, and they're fine. The trucks that haven't got diffs on, you have to go into the low range gears to use it, which is already a requirement. I wouldn't go as far as to say a punishment, but you know what I mean. You've actually got to drop it down into the low gears to use it. So then the fact that on top of that, it now tries to damage your gearbox and all the rest of it every time you get to... I don't know, I assume it's to do with like soft terrain versus hard terrain. Even though I'm driving through a river over rocks and all that sort of stuff, the river bed must count as hard terrain, so it was just moaning about the diffs, which yeah, I think is a little bit excessive. And what you'll see as we go through this is where I don't want to keep complaining about this game, but for whatever reason, they absolutely nailed it when they released the game, and a lot of the things they've done since is just kind of like, it doesn't give you the impression that whoever's in charge of balancing this or making things a certain way, they don't really know their own game very well, it feels like. And with this mission, other than the fact that I get they've probably given us the Paystars because they are relatively tippable, I have no idea why I got stuck here. I did attempt this mission the other day as well, and I made it this far, got the pipes, got down the river, and I tipped both times. I also did that tonight, but yeah, this thing drove back out of here pretty decently all the other times, but for some reason this time I was getting stuck on absolutely everything. But yeah, at some point fuel is going to become a bit of an issue, and obviously in terms of realism, this game is expecting you, I mean really, you got to drive both trucks out there, because obviously this one's got a crane, but I need the trailer to pack it on, whereas the Paystar with the trailer isn't going to be able to get the pipe onto the trailer, so you need both trucks. But yeah, doing a run each way, like to each pipe and then back to the yard, would just cost you more fuel than I don't think you'd be able to do it, basically. I mean, even now going up here, to be honest, it is a little bit of a risk, but you might be better off just driving the crane vehicle up here, picking the pipe up with the crane, and then just driving it back down to the bottom of the river, and maybe getting then your truck down that far. But I mean, at least when you're picking cargo up, like once you've packed cargo, it then kind of adds the weight into it, but when it's unpacked, or you just seem to be lifting it with a crane, it's incredibly light. And again, that's a bit of a weird thing where they've kind of nerfed the cranes to the point that some of them struggle to even pick, like, yeah, low for just a scout up. So they've had to make like the cargo especially light until it's packed, so that's almost like their own way of getting around their own weak cranes, which is a bit weird. It's like just up the power of the cranes. But anyway, that means when you're lifting the pipes up, they don't weigh hardly anything, so I mean, if you put your crane arm really high and have it swinging around and all the rest of it, it's not going to help. But yeah, having the pipe just dangling off the crane doesn't really affect you that bad, because there's practically no weight to it. So be careful on this bit, because this is where, yeah, I tipped the other day and earlier tonight. Like, just driving back on there, for whatever reason, it just goes. And then I brought the other Paystar, and that goes as well. And yeah, I mean, this is essentially the mission. You got to go grab a pipe, and now I'm on my way back to the yard, and I'm going to kind of have to repeat that multiple times. This is that section that was pretty deep snow when I came through the first way, but now, I mean, it's all gone, and it's an inch or two deep. But for whatever reason, I was even looking around now, you can hear my revs are just basically gone. I know I'm in medium low, not high low, but still, yeah, it doesn't sound too bad there. It just feels like I was even looking around thinking, oh, have I got the handbrake on? Is there like a dead tree laying under the back of the trailer, or have I winched to something and I'm trying to pull that along as well? It just doesn't feel like there's a lot going on here. Fortunately, it was only really this little section that's that bad anyway. There's a few other little bits, but that's the main one that, like I said, it made more sense when the snow was actually there, but now it should have let me go through it a little bit quicker than that. Can't find it, grind it. It's the rules. I mean, one good thing about this mission, I suppose, is the map's pretty small, so it doesn't take as long as you think to go back and forth. Which, like I say though, fuel will start becoming an issue. And again, they obviously, assuming they played this and quote-unquote balanced it, yeah, you'll see as I get to it, they kind of undermine their own realism. And as far as driving back and that goes, I'm more paying attention, like if you hit a stone or whatever, it's not as bad rolling this one. If you've got the Paystar kind of at an angle compared to the trailer, it's pretty hard to tip. But yeah, both trucks, I've rolled them multiple times. And as well, whatever I'm stuck on now, the trailer isn't even catching on the rocks behind me. It's all just a little bit like, meh. And again, the kind of crappy thing is at the end of it, all you get is like an accessory thing to hang off your mirror. You don't even get a bobble header. Well, I was going to say you don't even get a bobble header. I don't really care about them either. But yeah, they could have done more, like a more reward for this mission. A free truck of some kind would be pretty cool, especially a new truck. But even if you won some truck you've already got, so it's like a lump of cash, that'd be pretty nice. But I think, yeah, there's other ways they could have gone with it. They could have even done stuff like a various load of upgrades that you'd unlock that kind of boost some of the trucks we've already got, because it'd be one of them things where, you know, they're not necessary, but it'd be pretty cool to have them. Again, you can see diffs already moaning. Another thing they could have done is added like kind of upgrades again, but say an upgraded engine, but give you a selection of vehicles to complete this with, and each truck you complete it with, you unlock an engine for that vehicle. Or, like, say, custom mud, something a bit more usable. Like a pair of boxing gloves hanging off the mirror isn't really... Yeah, I wasn't in any rush. You can see there as well, as I was turning around, then the trailer locked, like, on myself, so I was stuck at an angle. Just one of those trollish missions. I think I was having a little look around at this point to see if there was any fuel trailers or anything sitting around it. It was looking like there's a house at the top of there, so that was probably the best bet, if anything. And you can see though, like looking on the map, that sort of looks a fair distance away, but in reality when you start driving it isn't that bad. And you'll see at some point the diffs start complaining again, even though I'm going only a couple of mile an hour through a river, driving over rocks and all sorts, so yeah, they could do with toning that down a bit. They're a bit over temperamental. Sometimes I just end up ignoring them and sod it. You do what you want, diffs. If you want to brake, you brake. That's not my problem. Yeah, as you can see though, by now, fuel is becoming a bit of an issue. I have got more fuel in the other Paystar, but not loads to be splashing out on. And yeah, it's just one of those things where, like I say, as far as the realism of the game goes, if you were aiming for that specifically, you'd obviously bring both trucks and then load the pipes onto the trailer, etc., like I did with the first one. I honestly don't think you'd have the fuel to do it, which is why I've just sent this thing on its own, and I'm hoping to just grab it with the crane and drive it back out of there, whether I drive it all the way back to the base, or at least just get it out from like this corner, because yeah, I just don't think there is the fuel to spare. Which is kind of like fine, whatever, it's one of the parameters of the game, but it just means I'll kind of have to do things unrealistically. Well, I don't know how unrealistic it is, but you know what I mean. Probably wouldn't be advisable just having a massive pipe hanging on the end of your crane and driving around through a river. But you can see though, it weighs practically nothing, so it's not really affecting me a whole lot. I assume it's the front left crane leg. It's like the hitbox things on this game are a little bit iffy, if I'm honest, but I assume that's what it's hitting, because something's absolutely stopped me dead. And I couldn't really see anything at the time, but when I was watching this back, it's like it's the only thing I can think of, really. Spat a bit of ice out the back. And yeah, you can kind of see why I was in no rush to do this mission. As for the other mission, I don't even know the name. It begins with Z, it's some weird name. Yeah, you got to drive a loaf around. Like I said, I had a little go at it, but if I'm honest, I wasn't really trying to do the mission. I just had a little lap around with a loaf, and then eventually when I was bored of it, I just turned it off and went back to the normal game. So yeah, that's nailed my fuel pretty well now. So I'm probably going to need to bring the other truck anyway, just to juice me up a bit. And then yeah, I got stuck on that rock, and of course got to hit. I already knew it. Of course it couldn't get itself up that little ledge. I'm not even sure as well with this Paystar if it's got the top engine or anything in. It might have. I don't really use this thing a hell of a lot, so I don't know it that well to know if this is like the top of the range one or not, but I'm pretty certain, yeah, it's not got the chain or anything on. Although to be fair, grip isn't really the issue in this. There's not really a whole lot of like icy patches or anything. It's just sort of snow and mud, and I suppose the river counts as obviously like a solid sort of rock base rather than a muddy riverbed. But yeah, this is that bloody section again. Practically stops me dead. That was a glitch. That wasn't even me editing. That was even the computer. I was like, sod that. Need to look the other way for a minute. Yeah, so before I just nail all my fuel, I'll send this thing in. I'm leaving the trailer there because, to be honest, if the pipes are that easy to carry, it's kind of like, it's not even worth bringing the trailer just to load it down here and then drive it all the way back up there as loaded cargo when it's going to increase the weight of it. And again, that's just another thing where it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they could have done something different with fuel. They could have made like a fuel trailer somewhere, so once you actually get it, you've got plenty of fuel and you can do what you're doing. They kind of limit you a bit. You end up finding a CK-1500 that you can rob a bit of fuel from. Yeah, fortunately it kind of dragged the pipe along with me there. I've got over the main section. So this bit, which, I mean, it's not hard to find, but you go off to the left if you're heading from the yard. Yeah, there's a house at the top of it, and like, this is definitely where I was looking for fuel now, because the Paystar with the crane is pretty damn low. This thing has still got, yeah, what, about 100 litres, but it soon burns away. This thing, it drinks not crazy amounts, but certainly not one of the lowest ones. You get some trucks that just sit at like 4, 5, 6 litres a minute. I think this thing's jumping into the teens kind of range, so yeah, it ain't gonna last forever. Oops. Yeah, it's only got 41 litres, so it's not a full one, but I'll take it. I'll be honest, if I didn't have that 41 litres, I wouldn't have made it on this playthrough. And there is a pipe opposite me in the valley. All I did there, by the way, was just drove back down and then jumped into this vehicle, nicked a bit of fuel out of it, and then I had the choice now. I was like, shall I head to the yard or not? And in the end, I think I decided, yeah, just cut the pipe loose, and I'll go back up to that kind of house where the CK-1500 was, grab the other pipe. I was just kind of going to try and source them all into an area here, because I kind of figured if I do run low on fuel, I don't think it'll go too well, but I could always go and get the trailer and try and load more than one large pipe onto the trailer and take them all back in one, or load them, like stack them onto this and kind of trap them on my truck with the crane. And I'm pretty sure that's the only CK-1500 there is. I had a little look around on the map. Obviously I couldn't really go just roaming around all day long, because I'd use my own fuel to check, but kind of everywhere I went on the map, I mean, this is the house that had that sat next to it, everywhere else just kind of seems up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere that there's no real reason to be heading there. So I'm not going to say 100% there is no other vehicles you can poach fuel from, but I'm pretty certain that is the only one. And then yeah, I was planning on cutting up there, but I kind of realised got my large pipe stuck in a pretty deep hole. That's definitely what she said, but It's not going to help us out. I could already kind of tell, especially with the crane legs, this thing ain't going to do too well at crawling its way down there. I kind of figured there's no point in bringing the other Paystar. Even if I had the trailer, I'm going to need the crane at some point to get this bloody thing out of there. So yeah, drove back up the hill. It's funny how I can drive through that bank of snow that is not a road, like probably about 5 times faster than I could drive through that other bit, like 10 minutes ago or whatever, that was an actual road. You know when you just get that feeling that the game's trolling you? Like lifting this thing out and it gets caught there. It's like, surely, from the way that's all designed and everything, and the way that they made sure the pipe was facing that way, I'm fairly sure they knew this was going to happen. And I'm more getting patient from how slow it is to rotate the bloody cargo. And yeah. Yay for me. If I'm honest, I'm pretty damn lucky it didn't quite go all the way, because my engine's still running at the minute. Oh well, that ain't going to work. That tree will just rip straight out of the ground. Yeah, fortunately I could rotate the crane though. And you'll see towards the end, if I wasn't able to do that, if I had to drive the Paystar, the other one up here, to flip this thing back over, I probably would have ended up not making it on this mission. At least whatever happened to me, it kind of tilted that other end out and got it over the rocks. And yeah, again, the pipe weighs sod also. It's sort of, I'd say this is the best way to go, really. I mean, I'd like to say that one day maybe I'll come back and attempt this mission properly, but to be honest, that is most likely a lie. Now I've got it in the bag, I don't need to come back. Especially, like I say, it's a lot of effort. I'm not necessarily knocking it in that sense, but it's a lot of effort to build this mission just for this thing, and especially when all you unlock is, yeah, an accessory hanging off the mirror. So, it's 2 down, 1 to go. And as you can see, it's basically just ahead of me in this like little snow valley. Not too hard to get to. It's funny though, that little road that's just to my left is now impossible to drive down. Well, it's not impossible to drive down, it's just horrifically slow. Like this snow just in the middle of nowhere. No road or anything, but that feels more realistic. I'd say that's about a sensible speed to be going. And yeah, I'm swinging this thing round first, because what I didn't want to do was like drive forwards down the hill, grab the pipe, and then try and reverse while I've got the pipe swinging around. It's a bit of an awkward hill, so yeah, I just thought, save myself rolling. I'll do it this way. I think as well, I just end up changing it as a daytime credit. It's one good thing with this mission, really. Yeah, it doesn't actually show you the time of day, so when you go onto the map, there is nothing to tell you, but you can still press triangle and kind of jump 6 hours ahead, and yeah, kind of bit of guesswork, but generally pressing it 3 times sort of gets you back round to midday. And like I've said with this map, or not just this one actually, the 2 newer ones, I know it's in Alaska, but yeah, the days really don't last long at all. It goes dark really quick, which I get that it's pretty high up in the northern hemisphere and they'll have very short winters, but then surely they'd also have very long summers. Should be still pretty light at like 10 at night. That'd be better. But at least, yeah, you can change it on this mission, because was it it might have been the Loaf mission, to be honest, one of the first of the 2 trials. You couldn't change the time of day. I don't think it'd let you even look at the map, so once it got dark, I just ended up parking up for 10 or 15 minutes, basically, and having to just wait for it to go round to the morning. Well, I didn't really need to, but because I was making a video out of it, it sort of... yeah, it's a bit iffy when you do it in the dark. It depends what route you're driving and what truck you got with the lights and all the rest of it, but yeah, you just can't really see a whole lot of what's going on, so it's better to do it in the daytime, really. And yeah, this is the last of the pipe, so I'm just going for it. I've not got a lot of fuel left, so I thought, well, I've still got some. I'll see how close I can get back to the garage. And then, as you know though, in this game, it'll start doing the whole spluttering thing pretty soon, so once I sort of thought I got to that point, I'll just leave it anyway. But then I nearly tipped now again on that same little puddle. So luckily this thing's still got a nice little bit of fuel, but yeah, still got 3 out of 4 pipes to get back, so, and I've already used well over half of everything, so not looking too great. I probably should have attempted there, going a bit more to the right and just trying to push them as far up this hill as I could, but they soon would have swerved out there. I knew it wouldn't happen. I tried to fling a winch out on the minute chance it actually grabbed onto one of the pipes and I could kind of drag it with me on the way. I mean, yeah, this Paystar on its own feels not as bad, but without the crane there's not a whole lot you can do. And you can see now just one of the many ways the game was being a complete troll. I was trying to kind of roughly share the fuel. For some reason it kept putting all but 1 litre or whatever over to each truck. In the end it was best off just fill one of them completely, and then it finally split the fuel between them, and I think what they got only 34 litres each, so yeah, not a hell of a lot. So my plan at this point is basically to get the trailer. There's that little box in front of me, I've got to sit in that to deliver the pipes. And yeah, I've not got enough fuel to keep carting up and down the hill and bring each pipe back properly. So I'm just going to stop this thing here and give all the fuel to this thing. That's one thing that was going pretty nice all night, is the crane was doing pretty well at reaching the pipe rather than trying to go for something random. I got it caught on that bloody little barrier thing though. And again it was like, that wasn't the issue, but it was just watching my fuel tick down. Like if I get the last pipe and I'm mere yards away from this when I run out of fuel, I'm really not going to be impressed. So unfortunately I don't even need to start the engine up or anything to do that, so at this point I was like, yeah, just give, well, I think it still had 1 litre in it. I was like, cool, whatever. Not really going to do a lot to be honest, but if for some reason I did need to fire it up for 30 seconds, that'll save the day. And yeah, this is kind of chancing it now on the rest of what I've got. Can I do 2 runs back down here? Nearly tipped there. And if it had, that'd be pretty much game over at that point, because yeah, I've only got 1 litre in that other thing, so I wouldn't be able to get it over here to flip this thing back. That CK1500, by the way, you can actually, it will let you have that, but I wouldn't say it's worth it. It's pretty damaged up on purpose. I mean, they have basically left it there just as a bit of extra fuel to rob. And what I could have tried doing is putting one of the pipes kind of behind my cab, between my cab and the crane's cab. But because it'll be sticking out sideways a lot, and I'm driving up that hill, and there's rocks kind of fenced off either side, yeah, I'd probably end up getting caught. This thing does glitch through some things. When you just got it as a pipe in the air, you can see it just went through that tree stump there, etc. But I think it does catch on some of this stuff, so it probably wouldn't be worth it. Best off, yeah, just doing it like this. I was looking now, I had about, what was it, 55 litres I think when I set off from the top. I've got about 40 left now, but this little section, you kind of have to keep going through the same bit, especially with this crane thing, because the legs sit to the side. They're about catching each side anyway. Yeah, that's bogging down a lot, and it's little things like that that's costing me the precious litres of fuel. Fortunately as well, you don't have to be very accurate at all with the pipes. As long as they're roughly sitting on the trailer, it'll accept them, which is pretty handy. And yeah, I'm not even going to sit there and pack it at the minute, just to make sure I yeah, get every last drop of fuel out of it. I think though we're down now into the 30s of litres, so I used about 20-25 litres for the first pipe, and I've got about 30-35 left, so I know it's going to be pretty bloody close. The crane leg then gets stuck on a rock Yeah, because obviously even though it theoretically got enough to get back, after about 10 litres it starts doing that spluttering jittery thing, so you're as good as screwed if it starts doing that, especially if I'm still going up the hill. And yeah, all in all, if I was going to do this mission again, I think, to be honest, I probably wouldn't even bring the other Paystar with me. I'd probably just fill this thing full of fuel and go and try and get the 4 pipes. Like, possibly just bring them all to this kind of area instead of going back one by one. But yeah, even that first pipe where I went up the river and all the rest of it, I'd probably just grab that on my own and bring it back. And I suppose if you do tip, then you've always got the other Paystar just sat in the garage that you could send off. Maybe I'd leave a little bit of fuel in it just so it can make it as a rescue truck, but I believe I got through this playthrough, was it, without tipping anything? So it's doable. So it's still got about 20 odd litres left, which is looking good, but then you see when I'm revving it, it's going up to like 15 odd litres a minute, so that really ain't going to last long at all. I was getting pretty bogged down here. And if I want to fling a winch out, I'm going to have to let go of the pipe, and then I'm going to have to re-enter crane mode and all the rest of it. It's just one of them where, yeah, when seconds are of the essence, it's not what you want to be happening. Like, don't you do it now. Imagine if it just tipped there. I'd have to restart. Yeah, so that's the way I'd definitely recommend in the end. And I've got 1 litre left in the red Paystar. I mean, this thing's going to have, you know, 10 odd litres by the time I've finished this little bit. So yeah, I don't really think there's any way around it. I think this is the way to go. Just source everything with a crane and sit this thing here really in the square so it can just accept all the pipes. And yeah, that's it though. Done. Ticked off the list. Unlock knockout, which is that, just a pair of boxing gloves hanging off your wing mirrors, which, or rear view mirror, whatever. It's, yeah, not the most exciting thing, but we'll take it. I suppose it's better than nothing. Or is it? Maybe a cash prize. Well, then again, I don't really need money at the minute. Yeah, quick little test, just crash into this trailer just to see what they do, jiggle around. Nothing special. And then I just, after doing that mission, wanted to have a little bit of fun with my loaf. I mean, flies like an absolute beauty. See? Self-dismounts. When he knows the coast is clear, he's back. That's why you get yourself goddamn professional. Again, that's one of my favourite things since the update, is the ability to pack vehicles. It's pretty handy. It'd be nice if you could access the roof rack when they're packed, but whatever, we'll live with it. All I have to do is click unpack, do it all and click pack again, so it's not the end of the world. See my floating origami parcel. Yeah, again, I wasn't really doing anything in particular at this point. It was just pretty cool that, because the loaf does just stay on there, even the flatbed. Normally at this point I'd have a sideboard on. And yeah, the, what's it called, the Bandit actually did pretty well at getting up there. But you can see though, those tyres were starting to skid over to the left any more and I would have flew down that cliff, which I have done before. But yeah, in the other maps, like, the restrictions don't feel as insane, so it drove up there pretty decently. A loaf had a bone to pick with this tree. Yes, some of them apples. And you'll see now as well, something weird that's never happened to me before. I was just driving off, hit something apparently, stopped dead, blew one of my tyres as well. I was like, what the hell am I stuck on? I'm literally on a runway. See, something floating in the air. Like a packet of cigarettes or something. I wonder they say they're bad for your health. I'm not sure what it is, maybe the top of one of those barriers. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for today. Finally that thing is bloody done. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.